What's going on? Welcome back to the Cheeseboys NFL Podcast. I'm TJ. That's Sam. And how you feeling today, Sam?
I'm feeling good, man. I just want to quickly, start by shouting out the fact back is back, baby.
He's
He
back.
he only played every other snap. I think he outsnapped Nyman by like 10 to 15 snaps total. So, but good to see him back in action. I know he wasn't too happy, I think, about being rotated, but hopefully maybe this week it'll be a little more standardized to see him in. But we have a couple, softer games coming up, so maybe we'll do another rotating game. Who knows?
I really want to talk about that like deeper in the future. We definitely got to get into
Yeah.
because I feel like Nyman is his name.
It's like spelled like Nijman, but I think it's
Mhm.
pronounced Nyman. Yeah.
Yeah, he's looked good, honestly. So it's good to
Yeah.
see that you guys at least have the depth there. And while Bat is just kind of, you know, he's building up strength, getting himself used to the game again. He has a
Yeah.
guy who can kind of understudy beneath him and learn the ways to get your body in shape to recover from an injury and to build up that muscle memory again. So it's a good thing to see. You love to see that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm wearing the 4 jersey because we're keeping it afloat for 4. And also we just gotta stop all the Cooper Rush QB1 controversy bullshit. Stop. It's done. No, that never
Enough's
existed.
enough.
I love Cooper though. Like you can't get me wrong. I love Cooper
Great
Cush.
backup.
Cooper Cush is the guy.
Cooper
He's
Kush.
my man. And yeah, so looking at some of these games, obviously we got to start Thursday night, the first game
Yep.
of the week 3 slate. It was Cleveland versus Pittsburgh in Cleveland, and Cleveland came out with the dub 29-17. It was a defensive game on both sides, and honestly early on it looked like Pittsburgh might have had a shot to win this one, but the second half Mitch Trubisky and the offense died. Jacoby Brissett took over. They ended up winning that game, and the scoreboard is kind of untrue because there was a late game fumble that caused the I believe the spread to go way over.
Okay.
And yeah, in the end, Cleveland ended up winning 29-17. So thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I was gonna say just really like yeah, I think you touched on most of like kind of the things that happened in that game. The only other key point that I really noticed is one, the Amari and Brissett like hookups kind of starting to look that better, and good game for David and Njoku as well. I think he was just shy of 10 catches. Um yeah, touchdown, I believe. So good game for him. And then Chubb, obviously another stellar game. Like I think if the Browns keep kind of playing like that, obviously there was some late game shenanigans that kind of helped them out a bit. But if they keep playing like that, they'll win some games with Brissett. So
And I gotta ask you, I'm sure you saw it. If you haven't seen it, then you don't watch football. Clearly, George Pickens better than Odell.
no, no,
No.
I mean, yeah, no, we were I feel like we texted about it right after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I texted you, we were both like, not talking at the same time, but both watching the game separately, and it was like a great catch. It'll go down probably, if not catch of the year, as top 3 catch of the year, depending on kind of what else we see as the course of the season goes on. But I don't think it's quite as good as Odell, but probably like the best rookie catch that I can think of, maybe since that, like I'm like that really comes to my head.
Division game, in Cleveland, versus, a good defense, blah, blah, blah. But Odell did it, division game, Giants on the road in AT&T Stadium, scored a touchdown. His team won the game.
Well, getting
It,
PI'd.
yeah, it's a little different. It's a little
Yeah.
different. So I agree, but we had to touch on it. So got that out the way. So now we're gonna move over to some of these games. Now, do you want to pick a game that we're gonna start off with?
Actually, yeah, I do. I want to get straight into the Bills Dolphins game. I want to hear your thoughts on that one.
So Bills Dolphins. It was 21-19, a squeak out victory. This game had butt punts. It had dramatics. It had Josh Allen getting heated over potential groping of his schlong. I don't know what happened there, but like this is a true thing. Apparently, some guy like was at the bottom of a pile just grabbing at Josh Allen. So that's a little sus, super sus, my boy. But anyway, in the end, the Dolphins are 3-0 and they are leading the AFC East. Who would have thought? I mean,
Mhm.
it's only 3 weeks. We're not getting ahead of ourselves. I think if you don't believe it, then you're crazy. I don't know, Sam. Let me know your thoughts. But I feel like the Dolphins are not the best team in this division, despite winning this game. But
Yeah.
When you look at the game, in the end, I think there was a fumble that Josh Allen or I can't remember exactly how the fumble occurred, but it put Tua and the Dolphins in great field position. They took over that game, and then their safety at the end almost cost it for them, but their defense came in clutch. 400 yards for Allen, 2 touchdowns, and he loses the game. So, it's tough to see, but I still feel like the Bills are the best team in the AFC East. Do you disagree?
No, I think I agree with you. I think like games like this are going to be huge record wise and division wise towards them. But yeah, I think Bills are still probably the number one team in the AFC, even kind of with the win. Yeah, one thing I just kind of want to point out that I just kind of stat wise kind of interesting. Josh Allen, 63 throws, 8 rushes, 71 total plays by him. I mean, that's just kind of crazy.
Put the team on
For
your back.
especially yeah, and to only get 19 points out of it. Not really something you would see out of Josh Allen a lot. So yeah, it's overall kind of a weird game, like you said. Whatever, butt punts, safeties, fumbles, a missed 4th and goal throw by Allen. Yeah, just kind of some weird things all over the game. But yeah, I'm with you. I think overall Bills are still the best team and the team to beat in the AFC and that division.
Yeah, a wacky game, but
Yeah.
those kind of things happen in divisional games, and kind of that segues me into my next game that I want to talk about.
Of course.
Vikings Lions.
Mm.
The Vikings look dead. It looked like, oh my God, like the Vikings got figured out in week 2, and now week 3, Detroit's got them. Like Detroit's the second best team in this division, and then Detroit fumbled the bag. Kirk leads the comeback, and he gets the win, 28-24. So yeah, it looked like the Lions had it in the bag. They were moving the ball early, and then like I believe in like the 4th quarter, they had a chance where they could have maybe went for it on 4th and 5, and then they decided to punt, and it ended up being the game tying or game winning drive. I can't remember, but yeah, that's kind of my synopsis of that game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like you kind of most of the points in that game. It did really feel like the Lions had a chance to kind of come out and prove that they were that number 2 team in this division, or like whatever. I mean, Vikings beat the Packers. I think you could. Some people would probably make an argument everybody's still fighting for the 1 seed. I think we kind of proved after beating the Bucs that it's not really a fight, and we just had a weird week 1. So yeah, I think you kind of touched on most of it. A nice little comeback win for the Vikings. The one thing I did want to point out though is Jeff Okudah. Just quickly breaking it down. So week 1, Devonta Smith, that's who he was on mostly. 0 catches, 0 yards. Week 2, Scary Terry, 2 catches, 22 yards. Week 3, JJ, 3 catches, 14 yards.
This guy's clamping.
Comeback for this kid. Crazy. So obviously they still lose the game, but to have a guy shut down Justin Jefferson like that, like it just gives your team that much more of a chance to win. And I think that's going to be huge for the Lions down through the season, is having a guy like that can come out and shut down some number 1 receivers.
And if he keeps it up, he's a front runner for comeback player of the year.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Of course. You just got to be consistent with it.
Technically, if he actually keeps up these types of numbers, you could argue defensive player of the year. Like, these are absurd numbers, like, especially for the guys he's been on. Whatever it was, I think I just said 5 total catches for 30 something on yards. I think it was 5 catches for 36 yards, if I can do quick math correctly. So, like, that's absurd numbers for a cornerback through 3 games. So good for him.
What division is he in again? Or what conference?
Jeff Okudah?
Yeah.
NFC? Oh, come on,
so
man.
How on earth would he win the defensive player of the year?
Well, I mean,
the best player in football is in this division.
It didn't look like the best player in football last week. He was sick. I get it.
And he actually still had, like, I believe he had 8 pressures and 6 QB hits on Danny Dimes, and D-Law had the best game of his career.
I was gonna say D-Law had a really good game.
And literally looked like the best game of his career. Dorrance Armstrong blocked the punt, and he also had, I believe, 1 or 2 sacks. So Micah creates for everyone, bro.
Man, you're getting ahead of yourself. We'll cover that game. We'll go over that game, bro. It's the Monday night game. We got to do that one last.
I know. I agree. Okay, I'll move on if you're good.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to move on. Yeah.
Baltimore, Lamar steamrolled Mac Jones and the Pats. I'll just quickly say this: the Ravens offense, Mark Andrews is that guy. Lamar deserves his bag. They kind of just cooked all day. It was never really like a question if they were going to win that game. And the biggest storyline might have came after the game with Mac Jones and his injury. And now Belichick is being all mysterious. And there's the video that if you've seen it, it sounds like he is in gruesome pain being carried screaming into the locker room. So that's kind of the big storyline coming out of that game. But the actual game itself, the Ravens just came in, took care of business after the loss to the Dolphins. They needed this one.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like really the only thing I was going to touch on was Lamar Andrews and the injury. So I just want to quickly, not even about the game, I just want to thank Lamar personally for carrying my fantasy team this year. It is a, big shout out to you. I messed up. I left Keenan in this week, so I didn't have a receiver and I still won.
No way.
Lamar, shout out, baby. You're killing
Lamar
it for me, man.
I
appreciate you. Yeah, he really is, man. He really is. He's been saving me all season. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, I appreciate you, man.
These next two games, I'm honestly not going to lie to you. I had Red Zone on, but they weren't even popping up enough for it to matter. Was the Saints and Carolina. Carolina won 22-14. And then the Bears and Texans, it was 23-20. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on those games. I honestly didn't watch too much. I just, from what I saw on Red Zone, I saw Baker made some clutch throws towards the end. CMC played like pretty well, and then they kicked so many field goals in this game.
Yeah.
The Carolina, that's all Red Zone was them just kicking field goals. And then for the Bears, I mean, Justin Fields still doesn't really look comfortable at all. He went like 8 of 17, but their running game is so fucking good, and their defense actually looks pretty solid. So I feel like they're going to win a few games just off the back of, if you're not a good run defending team, you might have trouble against them. So
no, I was going to say, I kind of, just to quickly touch on the points, I think you got most of kind of Panthers Saints. It was kind of a bit of a sleeper game. The only things that really happened were kind of a few touchdowns here and there, a couple interceptions for the person, then obviously the big Laviska Shenou touchdown. So that was nice to see him kind of get a big one on a shot on a new team after a not so great stint on a kind of rookie contract in Jacksonville. So that was nice to see. But yeah, kind of a underwhelming game, but Panthers come out and get a big divisional win. And then Bears, Houston. Yeah, I had it on like kind of here and there. Same thing. I think I was running Red Zone mainly at 1:00. I love Scott Hansen. That's the boy. That's my go-to every Sunday. So, but yeah, it was fairly underwhelming. I'm with you. Bears run game looked really good. It looked really good against the Packers too when we played them. So I think that's good to see as a Bears fan. But it's Justin Fields has got to be a bit of a concern. Like he's been right around 50% passing, I think, in every single game so far, which is not what you want to see, especially in a run heavy offense. Like when you're only throwing it kind of less than 20 times a game, like you want to be completing these short throws, and like you got to be moving the ball. That's how you're going to kind of keep the pace of this offense up. So I think that's something that's definitely got to change if he's going to see any success, at least in the offense he's in right now. And I think probably in his career, because he hasn't, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think he's in the best situation at all for any quarterback to be in, but I definitely think he needs to take steps up if he wants to have a career in the NFL.
Yeah, I completely agree. And they changed coaches thinking maybe that's going to help. And I don't know. I feel like they also need to focus on the players that they're putting around him more so than changing coaches, blah, blah, blah. You got to give the kid a chance, but we'll see about that one. I'm just going to kind of knock out some more of the lopsided wins out of the way. The Eagles steamrolled the Commanders. Carson Wentz's return was not good. I believe at one point they had like 200 passing yards, and if you combine like all the sacks, right, that the Commanders had, they had negative 3 passing yards.
There you go.
So it was like I think they got sacked 9 times. The defense just ate up Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts looked really good again. Devontae Smith is fast. AJ Brown is a freak. So yeah, they look good. They're scary. I don't really want to talk about it. Bengals, Jets. Bengals came in, they're like, we're 0-2. We let Cooper Kush beat us. Enough's enough. They came in, they dominated this one pretty handedly. I mean, it was really just skill on skill. They had more talent on the field. So I feel like it was kind of never in doubt, but they definitely needed it after starting off 0-2. So 27-12, they beat up the Jets. What are your thoughts on that Bengals game at all?
Yeah. Kind of just quickly one note on the Eagles game. I think Devonta Smith, I mean, I feel like he had a pretty good goal line kind of moss catch as well this week. So a quick shout out to that. That was a nice little catch as well. But yeah, not really much to touch on in that game. Kind of just an Eagles steamroll, not much surprise. Defensive just looked really good too. So that should be scary as a Cowboys fan. And then just trying to find the game here. Bengals Jets. Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Bengals Jets. Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of bounce back game that I think we've been waiting for the Bengals after losing to Trubisky and Cooper Kush. So I'm not really that shocked to see it. Really good game for Tyler Boyd. He had one like kind of longer touchdown catch where he ran a couple guys. Yeah, good game for the Bengals. A good bounce back game. Obviously, Jets are overall a pretty shit roster, all jokes aside. So it's not that surprising. Like you said, I think kind of just skill versus skill, they outmatch them. So, if you play well, you win those games.
I kind of want to touch on this maybe in a upcoming episode, but is it time to like ask questions about Jamar Chase, like rookie wall, like what's going on? Like, I don't know. He had a 29-yard game. He also had a tough game against the Cowboys.
Six catches. He had 6 catches, 29 yards, and a tutty against the Jets. So not terrible, but
he also had a tough game against the Cowboys, and I'm not sure how he did week 1. He might have been a little better week 1, but you look at guys like Justin Jefferson, who first year dominate, second year and just kind of keep it going. I wonder if it is just like defenses are kind of keying in on him so much more that it's tough for him.
Yeah.
But yeah. Moving on here. One of the more shocking, if not the most shocking upset of the week.
Oh, I know where you're going.
The 1-1 Colts beat the 2-1 Chiefs. 20-17, the Colts win. And after Sam said, oh, Frank Reich shambolic, oh, this team shambolic, what do you have to say for yourself? I
think they came out and proved that they can win some games. I mean, obviously they're healthy again this week. They had a lot of people come back, so that was really big. Pittman came back and made a really big step up. Could tell he was the number one guy throughout, the whole game for Matt Ryan. In all honesty, I'm kind of surprised still. I feel like in general, the Chiefs probably still win this game, especially with what we have seen. I don't think either team played a great game. Like it was a pretty defensive matchup overall, 20-17 for two pretty high powered offenses. It's a pretty low scoring game. Yeah, I mean, good game for the Colts. Good bounce back game. Like kind of what you wanted to see. Obviously different situation kind of from the Bengals where Bengals beat up a bit on a bad team, but Colts kind of get some confidence back from having a close W from a really good team and maybe the best team in the AFC. So yeah, I think obviously a really big game for them. And I think Frank doesn't got to be in shambles anymore. I think he can go home happy this week.
No, definitely this swings their momentum. Like the needle is pointing all the way north now. Like you got to ride this. Like that was such a clutch victory too, because early on I was watching that game. I was like, oh, okay, I might have to turn this off. Patty's going to kill him. And then I remember like looking and I'm like, oh, they're coming back. They're coming back. And then, obviously I had Red Zone on and I was just flipping in between games. So I threw it on at one point and yeah, the offense looked good. The defense, obviously, I believe they had a couple guys return, which really just they looked a lot better. So yeah, all things are pointing up, less shambolic. It's good to see.
Yeah.
So moving on here to a shambolic team. The Raiders are 0-3. Josh McDaniels, Devontae Adams, they lose 24-22 against the Titans, who I've also personally been fairly down bad on
Extremely.
all year so far on the podcast.
Yep.
I'm not high on the Titans, but they managed to, clutch this game out, and the Raiders almost came back, and I believe they just couldn't get the 2-point conversion to tie the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was definitely a close game. I feel like you touched on kind of the one thing I really was going to call you out for is kind of, are you surprised to see the Titans, a team that you've been so kind of down bad on all year, beat the Raiders? So I'm glad to see that you kind of owned up to that one. But yeah, one thing I do want to quickly mention is apparently Devontae has been speaking out about not a huge fan of kind of some system stuff or whatever in the Raiders and not loving the kind of adjustment. So I'm just gonna, kind of let him hold that L. Shouldn't have left, should have stayed. But
I wonder what it is. Like, I wonder if, because game one, it was like he was spamming them. And I wonder if, was that Derek Carr, like just checking into things to spam Devontae because he wanted to? And then Josh McDaniels comes in and just freaks out. He's like, no, we must spread the ball. Like, because this is the Patriots never really had a guy that they ever spammed. So no. It's kind of interesting to see that whole dynamic. I wonder if it's true, like if play calling is being guided to not throw Devontae the ball every time. And I'm not saying throw it every time, but I'm saying he should be schemed up 12 catches a game at least.
Yeah.
The Titans, they clutch it out. They deserve the credit, and I got to be less down bad on them.
Derrick Henry finally with a pretty good game too. I feel like he hasn't really had a solid game through the first 2 weeks. So finally, I think he came out. I don't think he broke the 100-yard mark.
Somewhat.
Yeah. I was gonna say he didn't have a huge amount of yards, but whatever, around 20 carries, a touchdown as well. So pretty good game for him.
Arguably, maybe the biggest upset, just definitely in terms of the points, but 38-10. The Jaguars beat the Chargers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like you could argue the Colts and the Chiefs was the biggest upset, but this might be the biggest upset, but it probably shouldn't have been, because I feel like we were so down bad on the Jaguars. We were hating on the Jaguars. I feel like the Jaguars are actually a good team, and we need to start putting respect on their name. Josh Allen, not Bills Josh Allen, Jags Josh Allen. He's a dog. Like, he's really good. T-Law is slinging it around, and now they finally have a confident coach in Doug Peterson. So they put another just masterclass of a game together, and that's 2 straight, a 24-point win in a shutout and a 28-point win against the Chargers team, which we have to touch on. Herbert was hurt, and he had to throw a ton in this game, which you hate to see, but yeah, they just really came out and stunned them. And I wonder if it's almost a sense of the Chargers were thinking, like we're talking on this podcast here. You know what I mean? Like, are the Chargers going into this game thinking, it's the Jags? Like, you know what I mean? We got the Jags. They beat up the Colts, but the Colts are shambolic. Frank Reich shambolic. Like, it's okay. We're just gonna, let Justin Herbert rest, and we'll come into this week and we'll play good. And just didn't happen.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say this game kind of interests me because I was kind of surprised by the scoreline. Didn't really have it on a whole lot while the game was happening, so I went back and I watched a bit more of this game, and really kind of just looked like the Jags really just controlled a lot of the game, like just overall. Like, it's not like it was kind of like a 38-10. Obviously, they forced 2 turnovers, 1 pick, 1 fumble, but it was just like Trevor looked really good. And like the Chargers really couldn't get much going on that defense. Like the kind of just one, like a couple stats I wanted to pull up is like third down efficiency wise, Jags were 8 for 15, Chargers were 5 for 13. Fourth down, Jags were 2 for 3, Chargers were 0 for 2. They had 20 more plays on them. Like, it just, like, overall, like, they just controlled the game the entire time. So I think big ups to the Jags for coming out and showing that you can kind of do that to a team like the Chargers. Like, maybe they are a team to watch. Like, that defense looked really good. Like, really good. Like, shut down a really good offense.
Get the other team off the field, control the ball when you got it, and it's a recipe for success. And Doug Peterson, like, he knows how to win in the NFL. That's like whatever way you fall on Doug Peterson's scale, you got to give him credit that he's won a Super Bowl, and he's definitely pushing this team in the right direction to the point where we're almost at the point in the NFL where there's like it's any given Sunday, like that's always the mantra, but it really is like any given Sunday here. Like we don't know which of one of these teams can upset the other team for one of the biggest upsets of the week, blah blah blah. Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Moving on. We got the Falcons and the Seahawks. What did you think of this one? We both had the Falcons going into this one, so it was a tight one, but I'm glad we took it.
We did both have the Falcons. Yeah, I would say tight game. Like, really, the one thing is Cordell Patterson, like, just came out and had a stud game. I can't remember if it was on video or not. Maybe it was just me and you talking, but I had came out and said that I thought Cordell was going to take kind of at least a small step down this season. I just thought age-wise, kind of how he performed last season, it was just a bit out of pace, but I don't know what it is, but just when he's in that Falcons uniform, he is a different player. He's always been a great utility guy, but he's taken such a step up in the last couple of years. Like yeah, like he's showing that he's a great running back to have for them. So I mean, between him, then another decent game for a guy like Drake London. Pitts, oh, had a couple catches, so that's good to see. Yeah, overall good game for them, and then kind of not a terrible game for the Seahawks, fighting along the whole way. Yeah, just kind of what you expect to see. Like they're gonna fight with some teams, but they're probably not gonna win a whole lot of games this season.
Yep. Getting Pitts back involved into the offense was key in this one. He had a really good game, and yeah, I feel like if you can't defend the run, like we were saying earlier, I can't remember who we were talking about there, but if you can't defend the run, then Cordero Patterson is coming, and he is very fast and he is hard to tackle. So, yeah, it was a good win for the Falcons, who I kind of feel like deserved a win after their first two losses, where they really were gutty performances.
Sure.
Moving on, a divisional game here. We got the Rams and the Cardinals in Arizona. This one, surprisingly for Kyler Murray, Matt Stafford,
bit of a
low
sleeper.
Scoring and defensive game, but in the end, 20-12, the Rams clutched this one out. And just kind of looking at the stats, Stafford had a good game, 250 yards. Again, who is the running back for the Rams? Because I feel like 1 week it's Cam Akers, 1 week it's Henderson, 1 week it's Akers. So that's kind of interesting, the strategy they're going with there.
It was a bit of Cooper Kupp this week. He had his first ever rushing touchdown.
Yeah, it was. And then Kyler Murray threw it 60 times to score 12 points, 300 yards. So, I don't know. It was just a really, really defensive battle, and give the defenses their flowers. I mean, the Rams defense is obviously dominant. We know the guys. We know Donald. We know Ramsey. Like, Bobby Wagner, who I will say, I feel like Bobby Wagner later on in the season is going to look a lot better than he has so far. I just feel like when I watched at least like the first 3 weeks, you don't notice him popping up like all that much, and it's just kind of un-Bobby Wagner like. So I wonder if it's just getting adjusted to the system. Like, he's obviously making his tackles, but it's just kind of like those huge plays. Maybe it's age, who knows? But overall, the Rams, the defense gets it done, and they clutch out this win.
Yeah, I was gonna say not really much to touch on other than what you said. Just very kind of underwhelming defensive game, and kind of Rams show that they are still capable of kind of that shutdown defense that they were known to play last year. So
I'm gonna move us on to this next game. I'm gonna skip and bring us back to the 4:00 window, but I'm jumping ahead to Sunday Night Football.
Go for it.
Speaking of snooze fest, this was such a boring game. My dad is a Niners fan, so I'm always tuned into Niners games, and wow, that was just Jimmy G. Thank you for the comedic relief in such a boring game. Jimmy G, if you didn't see, pulled a Dan Orlovsky, and he
I saw. Okay, hold on. See, I saw the Dan Orlovsky tweet too. Have you seen the comparison of the two?
Yeah.
Dude, Dan's is 5 to 10 times worse than Jimmy's was. Okay.
I would disagree. Because
Dan Orlovsky was 8 steps out of the end zone.
I know. He doesn't realize it. That's the thing. But Dan Orlovsky is also a rookie quarterback in like I think it was his second or third game ever.
Okay.
Like I heard Pat talking about this. He was like, Jimmy G's played how many games? He's won how many games? Like Dan Orlovsky was on the 0-16 Lions. Like, give him a break, man.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
So, but Dan Orlovsky's he's such a bruh commentator. We can talk about this in another episode, but I just think he's a bruh commentator. So anyway, what a boring game, but 11-10, the Broncos clutch it out. Russell Wilson still, like I said, the pressure's all the way turned up. That's what I kept saying last episode. The pressure's all the way up, and the offense still looks abysmal. It took their defense to score 2 points to win them this game in the end. Like that, the extra 2 points ended up getting the dub, which Jimmy G's got to feel sick about. But yeah, just a overall, defensive battle, which when you got the Niners defense, and we all know about that defensive line, and the Broncos have proven that they got a solid defense as well. And yeah, what a snooze fest, man.
Yeah. I don't want to, kind of just come in and be the stat guy, but quickly, San Fran 1 for 10 on third down. You got to step it up. Like you can't do that.
No, I like the stats, bro. It just helps paint the picture.
Well, also especially with Jimmy G and like, with Trey Lance, maybe it's a little more forgivable, but with a guy like Jimmy G, like he's got to be able to make some of those throws. Like you got to have.
Offenses were anemic.
Yeah, and then the other thing I was going to say is quickly, not stat, Denver throughout the game, 10 punts. 10. They punted the ball 10 times, double-digit punts. That's crazy. Like, what an absolute snooze fest of a game. I think it was like 17 total punts a game. Like, it was just brutal.
In the end, they won the game off 3 field goals and a safety.
Pat McAfee's favorite game of the season.
Yeah, special teams dream. Yeah. Definitely the special teams coach was getting a raise after that one for the Broncos. Oh, yeah. And he deserves it. Take it away from fucking Hackett. This guy, what did he say in that interview? I snuck in. When they asked him how he got the job, they said, did you get the job or did you sneak in?
Yeah, do you feel like you snuck into the job a little bit? And he's like, oh yeah.
Definitely.
It's because you did. Aaron and LaFleur made you look good last year, and now you got a head coaching job, and you won't keep it for long.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's tough, but hey, they're 2-1, man. All this being said.
Yeah.
So if they can turn it around, the pressure has got to be like the pressure cooker knob is like broken off now. It's all the way up. Like figure out this offense, man. You got all the tools.
Yeah.
All right, man. Give me your thoughts. I don't know how deep you want to go. If you want to touch on this maybe in another episode, we can go a lot deeper.
I was gonna say,
give me your thoughts on the game.
I'll kind of Packers, just break it down a little bit, and then I'll kind of go into some more in-depth things. I think in the next video, I'm gonna kind of give a little O-line preview and what I think we should kind of do in the next couple of weeks, and a couple of things like that. A little more in-depth injuries and stuff like that, but overall, like I think you can't be mad at that game. Bucs are a good team. I think we were both very injured coming into the game, especially with Jair going out in kind of the first couple minutes and not coming back. I also don't think he's really been practicing as much this week, if at all. So that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, overall, not much to be mad at. Dobbs had a huge game. Gotta love that. Rookie of the week in the NFC. So that was nice to see. Aaron had a pretty good game. There was one, I don't know what's happened on that pick. I don't know if it was a miscommunication or just a bad ball or what exactly happened. But yeah, there was the one interception. But outside of that, honestly, just like you got to be really happy with the defense. Obviously, the Bucs were super injured. No Mike, no Godwin, no Julio. Cole came in and played. I think he only had like 3 catches for like 15-ish yards, somewhere right around that. So he didn't have a huge performance, but they still had Gage, who had a nice big game. He obviously had the fumble. Like it was nice that we kind of forced, I think it was 2 fumbles throughout the game. So that was kind of big for our defense. I'm sure for a lot of people, this was probably a bit of a snooze fest game. Obviously, as a Packers fan, you love it. Any W against Tom Brady feels great, especially when, they get that delay a game at the end and then don't get the 2-point conversion. Yeah, I think overall kind of just a good game for us. We came out hot and then kind of cooled down a lot. So obviously you'd like to see us not kind of cool down as quickly in future games. Like you don't want to come out 2 touchdowns and then we had the Aaron Jones fumble on the goal line to end the second half, and then I can't remember, it was like punt, interception, punt, something like that. So obviously you want to see kind of more of a flow throughout the entire course of the game. But still, pretty good game overall for the team. Not much to complain about when you get a win. So especially against a good team like the Bucks.
So just because you didn't mention it, it was 14-12.
Yes, correct. Sorry.
You
I
got a game
apologize.
with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady that ends 14-12.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some damn good defenses, my boy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
really good defenses. So
Yeah.
kudos to both sides. I feel like the linebackers for the Packers can fly, man.
Yeah.
Like, and to see, Jair get hurt early in the game, and like, I know, like you said, no receivers, but still, like when guys go down in the secondary, you're always a little shaky, just worried about what's going to happen. And the boys stepped up, they played well, but same can be said, on the defensive side for the Bucks. They played a really good game as well. They kind of clamped down in that second half. But like you said, the Packers were punting a lot in the second half, but they were still moving the ball, which is just it's the reason I feel like you're feeling positive coming out of this game is because you scored 14 points, but it felt like it's just a couple things they have to clean up in order to
Yeah.
continue those drives and score touchdowns. Like the ball was moving. It's not 3-and-outs and punts. It's like we're just missing on, it's either timing or whatever. It's just play call, blah, 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 whatever it may be. But 14-12, if you beat Tom Brady that way, you love to see it as a Packers fan. And I mean,
Oh yeah.
obviously we can get into some matchups and some injuries and all that, that good stuff later in the
Yeah.
future episode, but super proud of your boys, man.
Quickly, just the other thing I want to point out, because I entirely forgot. This was something the last thing I wanted to forget. Keyshawn Nixon, just real quick, comes in, Jair gets injured, just proves he's cornerback number 4 on this roster. Like so I'm not sure if you saw the big punt catch on the 2-yard line. That was him. Had a pass breakup on a throw to Perriman in the end zone. So just a really solid game by Keyshawn Nixon. Came in when Jair got injured and stepped up and had a huge game for us and was a big figure for the defense throughout the whole course of this game and special teams. So big ups to him. Didn't want to forget that.
So I didn't even think about this while I was watching the game, but I'm thinking about it now. Where's Kevin King?
Oh, he's gone.
Where's he at?
Oh, I assume sitting at home watching on Sundays. I don't know. I don't know if he's on a roster. I really don't. Kevin King, no disrespect, man, but as a Packers fan, sincerely, fuck you. I really hope you are sitting on the couch on Sundays watching from home.
Yellow tape him, bro. You don't have to do him like that. Hey,
listen.
We'll have you on the pod. You'd have him on the pod, and you would.
I'd have him on the pod. Oh, 100%. I would. I would have him on the pod in a heartbeat because I was just gonna say, in all honesty, I really liked King as a youngin, and our scheming kind of shot him in the foot because he was never good enough to be a cornerback too. I mean, like he might still be good enough to be a cornerback 3-4 on a lot of rosters in the NFL. Maybe he is on a roster right now. I honestly have no clue, but I think we kind of shot him a bit in the foot by forcing him to play that CB2 role for a lot of his career when he just wasn't ready for it.
I feel you. So, last but not least, love to see it. The Dallas Cowboys, baby. We come in and we get this dub 23-16. And what did I tell you, Sam? What did I tell you? What do I keep telling? I keep telling the people. If y'all just listen, you could get my insight analysis, my TDCR, my TJ's Dallas Cowboys report. I'm giving you the good stuff. Our defense will not give up more than 20 points. They will not give up a touchdown to Daniel Jones. They didn't give up a touchdown to more than one to Tom or more than one to Joe. And guess what? Didn't give up a touchdown to Danny Dimes. We shut Danny Dimes down. And honestly, Saquon, he was running hard early, but the boys got after him. And then when it got to a point where they needed to start to throw the ball, we just got after him. I think he was pressured a career high 24 times, Danny Dimes. And not like those fake pressures where it's like, oh yeah, he was pressured, but he stood through it. Like, no, he was pressured and he was like, it was affecting his throws. The D-Law had a career game, I mentioned. Micah, he was in and out of the rotation, which brought in Sam Williams, rookie Sam Williams, second round pick. He played really well, I feel like, in his 37 snaps, which is a increased role than we saw week 1 and 2 because he was replacing Micah on the defensive line. Micah, though, he created everything for everyone. He's just such a freak, and you can see the impact when he would go out. But honestly, our defense was so good. It was good. It was good even when he was out. I will mention a quick note before I move on from the defense. Anthony Barr, he had a really weird game because I feel like at times I was like, oh my God, what a play. And he was rushing and pass rushing at times, as a sixth rusher. And it was beautiful. Then there were other plays where I'm like, yeah, that's why I want Jabril Cox in. So if you know, Jabril Cox, he's a dog. Cowboys fans, don't forget about this man. He is so fast. He is such a good pass cover linebacker. He's exactly what we need next to, we have the 3 linebackers of Micah, Cox, and Leighton. Leighton's a run stopper. Cox is a pass cover guy, and Micah is a freak. He's a lion. So it doesn't matter. He does it all. He's a god. So also an interesting note that I was kind of thinking about, the Cowboys are kind of a super interesting team, which here's your deep Cowboys knowledge. I'm not trying to go too in deep. I want to go into this more on a future episode, but
Yeah.
The Cowboys run 2 linebacker more than anyone, I feel like. How many teams run 2 linebacker? Cowboys will go 3 safety, 2 linebacker, nickel package, 80% of the game, I swear. It's super interesting to see because they just put Mike on the D line with 4 defensive linemen, Barr and Leighton, and then just your regular secondary, or Mike on the D line, take out a defensive lineman, put in a safety, you have 3 safeties. So super interesting, super side note, but yeah, Cooper Kush, he got the job done. CeeDee Lamb fumbled the bag, redeemed himself in the fourth quarter.
Redeem the
Tony
bag.
and Zeke ran so fucking hard. Tony is a lightning ball of electricity. We love him. And yeah, overall 23-16, our defense is amazing and they're going to give us a chance to win every single week. And when Dak gets back, I actually have super confidence that this team is going to be a lot better than I feel like I've even heard Cowboys pundits and stuff saying, which is a shocking take, but we'll get into that later. Sam, I went 10-6, I believe.
Yeah, and I went 9-7.
So that's a dub. That's a dub.
Yeah. It's a dub for you.
I like it. I mean, we both had good weeks considering some of the misses that we had were Chargers, Jags,
tough games. Yeah,
we're not gonna sleep on the Jags too much anymore. And then Chiefs, Colts. What are we supposed to do?
Same thing. Some close games too. You got the Finns Bills game. That's a tough game to call. Yeah. So yeah, it was a fairly tough week. It was obviously a bit of an easier week for both of us than week 1. I think we're now. So you were what? 7-9 the first week.
Yep.
And now you're 10-6.
Yep.
And I believe we're now even because I went
we're even.
9. Yeah. So we'll.
Yep.
Yes, I was
we're
8
even.
and
you love to see
9-7. Okay, so we're even through 2 weeks. So
this is
a pretty big week. Yeah.
All right. So Sam, we're gonna do this a little bit differently than we've done in past episodes. If you've watched before, we kind of go through each game and we break it down, but we're gonna save that for our next episode. It's just gonna be an interesting matchups of the week, news, injury reports, all that stuff. So be tuned in. It's gonna drop on either Sunday before the games or Saturday, whenever we're able to record. So keep your description, notify, put your subscriptions on, all that stuff. But
post notifications, everything.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get there.
I got you.
There.
This is why you need me as your co-host.
Dude, sometimes when your brain just gets rambling, you just word vomit. You just can't come up with it. You need a Sammy in your life, even though you support a dumb team, but you're a smart guy sometimes. So, all right, we are recording this, by the way, on Thursday, September 29th, and there's a game tonight, Sam.
Yeah, and
Bengals are playing the Dolphins.
15 minutes. Yeah.
Give me your pick.
I'm gonna go Finns.
All right, bro. Finns. So
I hate to say it. Yeah, but
I'm
I'm gonna go
going.
Fins.
I'm going Fins as well. I mean,
Yeah,
you gotta. We're riding with Mike McDaniels. Like I said, I should have rode with him last week. We ride with Mike McDaniels. We
we
believe
sure
in
do.
this man.
It is the whiteout game. I will say, so that makes me want to pick the Bengals, but it's a tough matchup, so I got to stick with Fins. Yeah, I don't care.
There's a game in London this week, Sam. It's on at 9:30.
Oh, I forgot about that.
9:30 at guess where? Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Which, if you want the football podcast, I'll start it up. The soccer podcast for you Americans. Tottenham Hotspur fan here. Hinming Son and Harry Kane are my boys. So anyway, moving on. Sam, Saints, Vikings. The Saints are at home in Tottenham.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Is this technically considered prime time because it's 9:30?
What's
This is a
Kirk's
genuine
record
question.
against London? Oh, bro, you got to make your take.
I'm going Vikings.
I'm going Vikings too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just
no,
they're a better
I'm
team.
just memeing. Yeah, I'm just memeing. I'm going Vikings. We can just move on. That one's pretty easy in my opinion. Saints, they suck.
Cowboys, Commanders, divisional opponent at AT&T Stadium.
Cowboys, light work. I don't really gotta make many comments. Wentz sucks. Cooper Rush is already a better quarterback. I'm sorry. Actually,
Wentz got sacked 9 times against the Eagles with that offensive line. He's going to get sacked 28 times against the Cowboys. I'm telling you. Anyway.
Okay, there you go.
Chargers, Texans at home.
Chargers. I think Chargers bounce back week. Texans lost to the Bears last week, so that doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence in them.
Yep, I got Chargers too. Giants, Bears, Giants at home. I'm actually taking the Giants. I just think
I was gonna say
they're actually a lot more solid than people are giving them credit for.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually think the Giants are a solid team, and I don't think the Bears are. So I hate that we've picked every single team so far the same, but I'm with you on the Giants on that one.
Detroit, Seattle, Detroit at home. I'm going with MCDC. Detroit.
Yeah.
It's just Seattle. They looked good in the first week. They haven't really looked good since, and Detroit's looked good in every game. Honestly, deserved the win last week. So
honestly, same situation to me as the New York Chicago game. Just it's a team that actually looks like doesn't really look like they're a solid team. So I'm gonna take Detroit.
Sam, are you sleeping on the Jaguars again? Jaguars on the road in Philadelphia.
No, I got Eagles.
I got the Eagles too. I'm sleeping on the Jags again.
The
Eagles look
Eagles
like
at home. Eagles look really good
in the NFC like as a whole.
Yeah.
So as much as that pains me to say, and I think we're still going to beat them in 2 straight matchups. I'm not going back on my take. That's what I said. We're beating them twice. But Jets, Steelers, Pittsburgh's at home.
I'm going Jets.
Ooh, okay, I like it. I'm going Steelers, so we'll see what happens there. I like that. That's our first switch up, bro.
I figured you might take the Steelers, and I don't back out of still a couple games, and their offense
Zach
has
Wilson
shown.
might be back, bro.
Oh, is he? Oh, give me Jets. Let's go. Yeah, run a Jets. I thought Joey was playing one more. Yeah, run me the Jets, of course. Yeah, give me the mill fucker.
He might not be back, but you're still taking them even with Joe.
Either way, yep. Give me Jets.
All right, bro. Browns, Falcons. The Browns are on the road in Atlanta.
I'm still gonna go ahead and take the Browns, I think.
I am too. It's just a better defense, and I know what Jacoby's gonna give me. I don't know if Marcus Mariota is gonna throw to Pitts, not throw to Pitts.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty good matchup for the Browns as well. I think they'll be able to run all over them and kind of hold the run as well. So good matchup for the Browns.
Insanely huge game here. Colts, Titans, Colts at home.
I'm gonna go Colts. I think they proved enough last week against the Chiefs that I think they come back and they go 2-1-1 and kind of get their season off to a bit of a better roll here.
I'm going with the Colts too, I guess.
Fuck. Wow, you really don't like that pick, eh?
I just hate the Titans. I hate the Titans. Titans, you're such a boring team to watch, even with Derrick Henry. Like, I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't even watch their games, man. Like, I can't tune in. Like, even last game, the only reason I watched was because I saw Derek Carr might score another touchdown at the end of the game. Like, I'll red zone your games, but like Jesus, your team is so boring to watch. Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry runs like old Derrick Henry, I'll like your team again. But
Yeah, until I see that.
he needs to come back to form. So I'm going
I'm
Colts.
with you.
I just don't feel super confident. But
Either way.
Baltimore at home against Buffalo, huge game. 2 top dogs in the AFC.
You know what, TJ? I want to hear your pick first.
I'm going with Buffalo, bro.
See, I love that because that gives me the perfect reason to go for Baltimore and not feel bad about it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick Baltimore at home. I like Lamar to come out here and outplay Josh. So I'm gonna go Baltimore.
It could easily happen. Like
I agree.
Happen.
Yeah, I wanted to go Baltimore, but if you were gonna pick Baltimore, I would have gone Buffalo.
And the Bills are beat up on defense. It's just I feel like Josh is gonna have some pain after that last one. So
yeah, give me Baltimore.
Cardinals on the road at Carolina.
I'm gonna take Carolina over the Cards on the road. Yeah. I think like Carolina at home pulls this game out.
Mm-hmm. I like that pick, and honestly, I pick them. But now that you pick them, I'm not picking them, bro. I gotta beat you this week. Arizona. I'll go with Arizona. I feel like this one was kind of a toss-up game. Yeah, I took home field just like you, but yeah, I'll bank on Kyler putting together another 300-yard game, but actually putting it in the fucking end zone this game. Kyler, do it for me, K1. I believe. Oh God, COD just dropped.
Oh,
he's gonna make me regret that pick. But
you're fucked. There we go.
An AFC West matchup. We got the Broncos versus Raiders. Raiders at home. What a shambolic game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, honestly, something tells me this could either be a very interesting or very boring game. I'm gonna take the Raiders. I really don't like what I've seen of the Broncos so far. I don't love what I've seen of the Raiders either, especially that 0-3 record. But I think they have the better roster, the better team. Yeah, I'm gonna go Raiders.
My clothes better, my shoes better. I'll work harder.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go Raiders, but it's really
I'm taking the Raiders too, man. The Broncos just Broncos have been one of the most boring teams to watch as well, just because like Russ is cooking, and whatever he's cooking, I would not eat if I were you, because it is burnt, it is spoiled, it is rotten, my guy. Like Russ is not cooking so far.
Not even
moving on here, bro.
Yeah.
Packers. 1 week they get Brady, the next week they get Belichick. Packers in Lambeau versus the Patriots.
I think it's a walk. Yeah, I think
especially with the question marks around Mac Jones.
I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's playing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the Packers as a pretty easy walkthrough here. Even with Jair out, Watson's been practicing. Not that he's been that big of a difference maker, but you love to see a guy like that in potentially. But yeah, I think Packers walk through Patriots hopefully this week, especially with Mac out.
Yep. Chiefs, Bucks. This is a good one.
I'm gonna go Chiefs on the road. Come in and beat the Bucks in Tampa. I don't know. Obviously, Mike will be back. I don't know about like Julio, Godwin, stuff like that. I don't know who's playing, not playing for the Bucks, but I still think Chiefs are the better team.
I'm going with the Chiefs too, just because I feel like the Chiefs are gonna feel upset about that last one, and they're gonna come out and face a Tom Brady team that on offense they've been struggling. So maybe Tom gets it back together if he gets all of his weapons back, but until I see them on the field, I mean, I got to pick the Chiefs. I can't bet against Mahomes, and especially coming off a loss. So Monday night, we got the Rams versus the Niners.
In San Fran. Who you got?
I got the Rams.
Yeah?
Jimmy G's a joke. What do you got?
I got the Rams. I really wanted to pick the San just to be a contrarian and be that guy and be like, watch this happen, but I really don't think it is going to. So I'm gonna take the Rams.
Jimmy G has there's no excuse.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that just about wraps up this episode of our week 3 reactions and our week 4 pick'ems. We're gonna do another episode and hopefully get it out before the slate of games comes out. So be tuned in for that. We're the Cheeseboys NFL Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, and on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Off the Post Sports. Make sure you go check out all of our content, share it with a friend. And Sammy, it's been a fun one.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, you as well. And yeah, we'll catch you guys again later on this week. So take it easy. Enjoy the football this weekend, boys.
Yep. All right.
See ya.
Peace.